Hey everybody, this is Dad from Ray and Dad, and today I'm checking out Mercer Arboretum Gardens, and actually going to check out a very specific part of it where they've just opened up a section that was previously damaged in some of the hurricanes and floods that occurred here in Houston. So today I'm coming to you from Mercer Botanical Gardens, where we're going to check out the Japanese garden section of it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to keep up on all our adventures, and if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up at the end. So thank you very much for joining me, and make sure to enjoy. The Arboretum's broken into two broad sections. There's the east side, which is the main garden area, which is really nice to come to pretty much year round, but especially in the spring and fall when all the flowers are out, those two periods of time. And then there's the west side. And on the west side, there's a number of trails. There's a little bog area or swamp area. There's a fantastic playground here that we used to take Ray to, and we still enjoy going there, running around the bridges and playing on the swings. So there's a great playground here on the west side, and then you'll see the entire loop. If you do this whole hike here, is about 2.25 miles once you get to the west side of Mercer. It's all free. You do want to make sure you check the times when it's open, because it is a county park. I think it closes for holidays, so it may not be open on things like Christmas and Thanksgiving. So definitely check their website, and we'll link their website down below. You can also see their website and the information here for Mercer. But it's definitely worth coming to check out, even if you're visiting Houston or Houston area. We're about 20 or 25 minutes from downtown, up the I-45 off of 1960 area, and it's a lot of fun to come check out this garden area, both for the hiking side if you want to be in a little bit more nature like on the west side, or if you want to go to the more curated side where they have a series of gardens. Both sides are really nice to check out. As we head to the back gardens that they just reopened, hello, how are you? Good afternoon. So as we head to the back gardens that they just reopened, so I can show you all what that looks like now, we can walk through some of these other areas. I'm going to show you the herb garden. This is kind of the Shakespeare garden area. And there's a lot of these crepe myrtles here. There's a whole little cute children's section over here. There's a lot of areas here that are very picturesque. People come here for all kinds of events, from taking pictures for weddings to taking pictures for quinceañeras, for other family birthdays. They'll come here and take pictures. It's a really popular place and very picturesque place, especially in the fall and spring. So as we come towards the back section of the Arboretum, there is a trail that'll shoot off here and just around the corner of this hedge, and that's where we're going to be heading today and exploring, is this section that they just recently opened up. So we'll come down this way and we're going to take a hike and go check out the updated Arboretum section out here and take a look at the Japanese tea house. So as I walk through this area, one thing I want to say is that we've been coming here since we moved to the Houston area about 12 or 13 years ago now. We've been here. We moved at the end of 2008, and so coming up to, I guess, 14 years. That's amazing. And this has always been one of our favorite places to come. It's not very far from downtown Houston. It's not very far from the north side of Houston where we live, and it's absolutely free. And so it's a great place to bring families, let the kids run around, enjoy some nature, enjoy learning at the same time. They also have a number of events here, they have a Scarecrow Festival to they have a March Mart where they sell plants and herbs, and they have I think another mart in October as well. So it's definitely worth coming if you're in the greater Houston area, or you're ever visiting Houston, coming up and checking out Mercer Arboretum. Once again, it's a great family activity and it's free, so you can't beat the price tag. As I walk around and pan around here, you'll see this back area that recently opened up. There's a lot of open space. This used to be a thick forest, and then we had Hurricane Ike, we had two floods, and we had Hurricane Harvey, and it wiped out a lot of the forest here. And what they decided to do, instead of just letting it lie and be full of debris, they cleaned out all of that debris, and they built these walking trails back here in these gardens in this back area where the forest used to be, which is really nice and is very tranquil. And there's a bunch of these little paths that zigzag out here. It's a great place if you just have a couple hours to come spend to walk around and enjoy just being out in nature. As I walk along the trail, here's a bridge to come across. So I don't know how many miles of trails there are here, but there has to be several miles of trails just in this back portion that we're heading into. And probably half of those are just the same trails, just kind of winding through all these different little areas. This is Story Lake here at Mercer Arboretum, and this is just recently opened and refurbished and finished back here following Harvey, following the other flooding events that we've had. There's a little island out here for the kids to hang out in. Sometimes there'll be birds out here, and you'll probably see some turtles along the way. There's actually some turtles out in the water there. It's probably hard to pick up on the camera. There's the tea house that's over in the distance, and we'll walk around and check that out as well. And they have these nice benches you can sit in and just hang out and enjoy some peace and quiet. We'll work our way around to the Japanese tea house. They can see is the building on this far. Look over here, there's some turtles. I'm going to try not to scare them. So you can see the turtles sitting up. There's two of them. There's actually a little turtle head out there in the water as well. Hey turtles. You can see there's a bunch of the cypress trees, which are the classic looking, if you will, swamp type trees. And those grow out here and in this Houston area as well. In fact, Houston's known as the Bayou City. So there actually are alligators in the area, and there's a lot of swampy terrain. Where we live north of town, it's really interesting because we have this two competing systems here. We have a lot of pine trees. So if I stop and pan back, you'll see there's a bunch of pine trees. In fact, you can see a bunch of pine cones up there. But then you have these pine trees mixed with these cypress trees, really swamp type of trees and bayou type of trees. So it's a really interesting ecosystem that exists here north of Houston. All right, so walking across this new wood plank bridge they put here and a little water feature over there. Oh, and a koi. I don't know if y'all can see there's a koi down here hanging out in the water. And if I come to the other side, there's actually a big old, oh, I just scared away. There was a big old bass that was just sitting right here in the water. And I think must have been about 1.5 to maybe 2 feet long bass. So there's fish in here. You're not, as far as I know, allowed to fish because this is an arboretum. But there are some pretty good sized fish in here. And we've seen other things like bluegill or perch in here as well. Or sunfish, they're called. So here's what they used to call the Japanese tea house, and I don't know if they still refer to it as that. But that's what we still refer to it as because this is, since we've been coming here, that's what it was called. Come and get a nice view of the lake. If I turn around, you can see a little structure of the tea house here. So when Ray was real little, we would come here and have picnics a lot and just sit here on these benches, and Ray would eat a sandwich in her stroller, and we'd hang out here and watch the turtles and the fish. Just like I said, it's been one of our favorite places to come for a very long time. And pan back around and take a look at the rest of Story Lake. So from the tea house, we're going to work our way around the rest of Story Lake. All right, so I've ended up back in a gravel section past the tea house and past Story Lake, and there's a number of hiking trails back here that have recently opened up. And here's a map of what the botanical gardens look like. We are on the east side right now, and where we're at is down here at the star. It says "You are here." And Story Lake that we walked around with the tea house is located here. Where we parked was here, and the main entrance we came in was through here. So it's about 0.14 miles back to this trail, and then you'll see it's about 0.2, then 0.25 around here. And there's actually some other hikes that come out, so you can actually do, I don't know, another mile and a half of hikes past this point, which we hope to take you through sometime and show you those areas as well. For now, we're just focused here on Story Lake and showing this section that recently opened up back here. One thing that's nice and once again I really enjoy are walking by and seeing all the plants they planted here, and then finding out what kind of plants they are. Like here's a fragrant dwarf camellia, and it's really nice that they've labeled so many of the plants here and so much of the foliage. Not all of it, but they have labeled a lot of it, so you're able to come here and learn about the different types of flowers. And the people that work here are very knowledgeable about the plants. Oh, look at this, I'm getting distracted. This is a heart-shaped flowering kale. That was really neat. They made a heart out of the kale. Ha, that's cool. All right, so what I was saying is that the folks here are very knowledgeable about all types of things botanical, and so they can even help you find out what kind of plants may be best, or make some recommendations for where you can try to find certain types of plants that'll grow here in the Houston area, or maybe even beyond. I'm not sure what the knowledge is past the greater Houston area, but it's definitely worth asking, because there's a lot of botanists here and folks that work day in and day out at growing these plants and caring for all the foliage here. So as I continue my walk towards the end of Story Lake, we're going to start working our way back out towards the main portion of the Arboretum, where they have more of the flowers and more of the curated areas, whereas here's kind of a mixture of curated areas and these natural settings. So we'll work our way out there, and I'll show you a couple other of the garden areas. However, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of some of these sections. We're going to come back here probably in the next month or so as the flowers start popping out late January, early February. We'll come back and visit, and then we'll come back again likely in March and April when the flowers are in full bloom, so you all can see the different progressions of the flowers here and the different types of flowers they have during different times of years. All right, so now we've come to the main part of the Arboretum again. So we walked down this dirt trail down towards Story Lake, and now we're back in this main part of the Arboretum. If we go to the right, there's some little hills to walk up. There's a kind of a Cretaceous garden, they call it, like a dinosaur garden. It's really neat. There's a nice pond and some other flowers. If we go straight ahead, it's more the manicured type of garden idea. There's a little maze over here. We'll show you all another time, but I'm going to go straight ahead to this portion of the garden, and then I'll go ahead and work my way out now that I showed you the newer section of Mercer and took a look at the Story Lake area. Look, there's a little butterfly flying with me. Hi, butterfly. One thing Mercer has is a number of water features around the gardens, which are always nice to hang out by and enjoy listening to. This one actually has a little swing next to it, so you can swing and listen to this little waterfall. All right, everybody, so that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me to check out the Story Lake portion of Mercer Arboretum. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you can keep up on all our latest adventures. With that being said, thanks again for joining me here at Mercer Arboretum, and make sure to enjoy.